What's up, guys? Welcome back to my little cupcake shop. Little PSA for those of you in my comments that have been begging me to get a haircut for the past 3 months. Instead of spending 20 bucks on a haircut, I actually figured out that if I rub mud in my hair the right way, it doesn't look as much like a mop and I can actually see. Anyways, today was chest day, and while I actually didn't have any problem whatsoever showing up to chest day, tomorrow just so happens to be leg day. And I'm not gonna lie, it takes just a little bit more dog in me to actually show up to leg day. So this video is gonna be all about why you may or may not absolutely fucking hate going to the gym. Maybe it feels like a chore, you're just consistently dragging your ass in there, looking and feeling like a straight up zombie. So I'm gonna go over a little bit of how I kind of wired my brain to actually somewhat enjoy going to the gym. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. No matter how autistic you get about rewiring the fucking circuitry of your brain and dunking your balls in ice every morning, I just want you to keep in mind that not every single workout is gonna be perfect. This video won't just magically give you Sam Solik's mindset in the gym, but it might make things just a little bit easier. Before I jump into everything, I just want to quickly mention, former fat ass, know what it was like, know how to make the transformation, already made it. If you think having direct support from me, a fully customized program, the whole shebang, if you want me to personally guide you through your fitness journey, first link in the description. Let's kind of start with like what you're going to the gym to actually do. If your workout, your strength training, your cardio, however your lifts, your training is structured, fucking sucks and you hate it and you don't want to go because you're limping and you genuinely can't drive home after, in that case, it might just come down to the fact that your program fucking sucks. No matter how optimal, how amazing, how spectacular your program is for building strength or hypertrophy, whatever the fuck your goal is, if it's actually that unbearably miserable, then honestly, no amazing mindset little hack is gonna help you. You just need to readjust and tweak your training a little bit to be something that's just a little bit more enjoyable. And to some extent, going to the gym and pushing through hard training tends to be... Oh, shit. Let's just say after that we had a series of unfortunate incidents. So it's now the next day. Anyways, if your training is just so miserable that just going to the gym and pushing yourself through it is like a 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10 or something in difficulty level, it might be a sign to kind of take a step back and reassess your programming a little bit. For example, Bulgarian split squats. If I had to do even 2 sets of Bulgarian split squats, then it'd be like 40% harder for me to want to go. So like hypothetical workaround, instead of doing Bulgarian split squats, maybe just add an extra set or 2 of leg extensions. Still productive, still getting good quad isolation, and I don't want to rip my skin off. And now to talk about the fun part a little bit, the dopamine hack side of things here. First and foremost, I'd say the biggest kind of driver that gets me actually going to the gym, literally because I drive to the gym, is honestly just music. The effect that music has on your headspace and your motivation and overall drive is actually ridiculous. The combination of a little bit of caffeine, maybe a white monster or like a half scoop of pre-workout, if I'm really just not feeling like going to the gym at all, put in my AirPods and blast some music for like 5 to 10 minutes in my ears, so that way the Rob Zombie brainwashing sound waves are just going directly into my skull as loudly as possible. Sip on a little bit of pre-workout, put my shoes on, hop in my car, and then blast the music like 4 times louder, and drive to the gym at speeds well below the speed limit, officer. In addition to that, if I really just need like a quick motivation burst to even get to that point where I have like the give a fuck to even put my headphones in or consider going to the gym, slightly embarrassing, but I don't care because it works, go on TikTok or Instagram and watch some crazy badass anime edits or just whatever you need to hype you up. Maybe it's just me, but it's honestly kind of hard to not want to go to the gym after I've watched the literal most disgusting solo leveling edit on the entire planet. It's pretty much just like instant shoes on and ready to go. So you get the dopamine from that, little dopamine from the caffeine, dopamine from music along the way, dopamine from the workout itself, and then on top of all that, if you have friends, go to the gym with your friends. Boom, you pretty much just sealed the deal. The gym isn't punishment anymore, it's now just a fucking social gathering. Something I used to do too was I would eat like a popsicle on the way to the gym, and I really like my little icy pops. Quick little carb pre-workout, kind of stacking a reward around going to the gym. And eventually, whatever kind of combination of approach here out of these things works the best for you. Eventually you get used to it. You kind of figure out what exactly you need to do to give you that motivation and get you in there. And then you start doing it over and over, and it turns into a little bit of a ritual. Your brain's wired to love and not want to let go of its routine and habits. So once you do get like a little bit of a ritual, routine, consistency down, it becomes a lot easier to stay consistent. And the same applies to the opposite. If you've never gone to the gym a day in your life, yeah, there's going to be a little bit of friction with building up the habit and actually getting in there. You even see this a lot with guys who at one point were super consistent in the gym. They fall off for a few weeks and then they have a really hard time getting back into the swing of things. It really just goes to show your brain is wired around habits. When you do go to the gym, especially if you're newer, I hear this a lot from my coaching clients where they're really worried that people are judging them, giving them weird looks, or maybe you're just overweight, like not where you want to be. You feel kind of out of place, but I promise you, go there for 2 or 3 weeks. If it helps, maybe get a little bit more comfortable, but literally just walk up to a random dude and talk to them. Ask them how the hell you do tricep overhead extensions or a spot for an exercise. First of all, you're almost never going to get turned down. And second of all, especially if you are newer, they're going to be thrilled to help you and just happy to see that someone else is trying to get into doing what they like to do. And then you quickly realize, oh shit, that guy hasn't actually been mean mugging me for 2 weeks. He just has a horrible resting bitch face. Once your brain realizes it feels good to train, then you won't have to force yourself to do it anymore. Or maybe it's the social side of things a little bit and kind of that insecurity. It's really not something to get in your head about. Think of it this way. No one goes to the hospital and judges sick people for being there and getting treatment, right? If you're not where you want to be, super overweight, or maybe even just super skinny and want to bulk up. No one in the gym, especially people that have made progress because they've started exactly where you're at, is looking at you and thinking, oh, this fat guy in the gym looks super out of place, because it's exactly where you should be. Another quick little cheat code for you guys is progress tracking outside of just numerical data like the scale or your strength on your lifts themselves. Getting progress photos or even just wearing stuff where you can see a little bit of what's going on. I really understand how it gets when you're overweight, wanting to wear super baggy shirts, show up to the gym when it's 200 degrees with a hoodie on and hide everything, obscure your figure. But by doing that, you're kind of selling yourself short, because let's say 3 or 4 weeks in, you've got a tiny little bit of extra vein or forearm definition going on that you'd have no idea about because you can't see your body or your pump or how you look in the gym anyways. Seriously, the first time I noticed a forearm vein, I probably took like 15 pictures of it right then and there. Progress you can feel and see gives your brain a way bigger dopamine dump than just showing up and being like, yeah, I'm here because it's healthy and cool. Anecdotally, the vast majority of people aren't in the gym because it's healthy and cool. There's usually some kind of visual goal alongside it. People aren't looking at you and judging you in the gym. That 40-year-old 6'3" tall guy who's 230 pounds lean isn't pissed at you. It's just leg day and he got off work and he's tired and doesn't want to be there, but he's there anyways. The people around you are way too fixated and worried about their own lives and how they look. They're just locked in, maybe dying inside, and maybe just have a mean looking face. Everyone I thought was scary in there became a normal ass person as soon as they opened their mouth. Another thing I've noticed is a lot of people just aren't sure if what they're doing is worth it or working, because there's so much information out there, so many ways you can take your workout, that it gets pretty overwhelming and you're just in there wondering, okay, is what I'm doing actually working and doing literally anything for me? If having a fully customized program from the diet to the training, recipes, and direct support from me the whole way through to make tweaks and adjustments so that way you continue making progress no matter what is something you might be interested in, first link below. So yeah, just chill out a little bit, do your best to make the gym fun, give yourself those rituals and rewards around everything, and once you do get the habit and consistency started, it's a lot easier to stick to it. Promise. And I will see you in the next video.